but I don't think I have a picture of it. It could be that it'll still, you'll still discuss it in the next couple of few lessons. It seems to me like this is a very long process of self-awareness. This is like any work of midos. It just takes time. It takes months, years to really kind of get a settled place, a centered place, where whatever that thing that a person's working on gets, you be like, okay, this is what's happening with me. I get more in touch with it. I get closer to it. But it's a process. Now, but I'm not getting over here. It sounds like a little bit like black and white. Like you don't feel good and you need to accomplish. So go accomplish. Which that sounds great. But I hear like years of gray over here. And while the years of gray are going on, there's a lot of porn watching going on. So and then the person has to resolve all of that frustration and self-anger and disappointment. So you can stay in the head and try to think, okay, well, I'm not there yet. But okay, good, but how many times am I going to have to kick myself for doing something that I didn't want to do because I wasn't there, because how often am I really there in that centered place? I'm just wondering, what does it look like in real time? I'm also, again, and just as parenthetically, again, I'm sure you're going to get back to our 13-year-old kid, he's going to have years to go, and thousands of things flash in front of his brain with a 13, 14-year-old sense of consciousness of what do you mean about self-awareness? No, thank you. Self of what? So, but that's aside. That's the side thing that I'm curious about. But that's not my main question as of now. It just seems like I hear the idea and I hear the ideal, but I just see I don't get a picture of what this looks like in real real time.
Okay, so the point that you're making, we'll cover a part of it now and part of it later. But definitely the point you're making is, I don't subscribe to the idea that my goal is to, when I'm teaching these things, is to a person comes here, they're watching porn, they finish this year, they're going to stop watching porn. Why is that not my goal? Because I don't think the issue is porn. The issue is the growth towards the midos of bris. So yes, you're right, it's a long process. All of the aliyahs and yeridas that a person is going to have in bris are going to express themselves, whether they're married or not married, in a desire to do something negative, the opposite of bris. And it's our job to become self-aware to the point at which we can navigate those challenges for years to come, because they're always going to be there. Now, if a person is going to be impacted by those things, you mentioned a different point. So the first point I want to make is, we're moving slowly. We're not moving fast. On purpose. Because we're trying to do real tikkun. We're not trying to solve the problem of the fact that he watched porn that day or his mozzarella that day. That's not the issue. That's a symptom of the issue. And so I don't mind that it takes time, and I don't mind that he falls down 100 times. Now, you added an entire narrative, which is part of what we discussed in the last shiur, which is that a lot of self-hate and a lot of negative thoughts, that is a choice. And even the experiences of the negativity that he saw in when he watched all these things, it's also a choice what to do with that. Because you can grow from that, you can learn from that. You can take all of the limudim that we spoke about in the first shiur, the second shiur, and the third shiur, and say, okay, what did I learn from that experience? How do I feel afterwards? What did it teach me? Is it true? Is it not true? What kind of person did I become from that? And that's also part of the process. And then people grow and people change. And there isn't this self-hate. Yeah, okay, I looked at this thing for a while. How do I feel? I feel pretty garbagey. Okay, why? Well, what was I looking for? Well, I didn't get it. What was I looking for? And I don't think you're right, by the way, that it's very heavy and heady and it's not possible for a 13-year-old to get. Of course they can all get it. Maybe I won't explain to them for an hour and a half like I'm explaining it to you, because you're adults, but you definitely can understand, I was just feeling bad about myself. I looked at that thing and I still feel bad about myself. Okay, so what are you going to do to feel good about yourself? Oh, I'm going to go and do something good with my life. Okay, so go do some chesed and go and do this thing and feel great about your life. Okay, let's go. And then he's happy, right? Oh, you know what? I still feel bad about myself. Oh, so really, what's going on? What do you think? Why do you think about? Because I think I always make mistakes. I always mess up. Wow, really? You think you always mess up? Is that true? Is that really the way you really think about yourself? These are not complicated things. You do this with your kids all the time. You do your 8-year-old with this all the time. The reason I'm explaining it for so long is I want you to understand the panemius of it. But the actualization of it is chick-chock. The main point that I'm trying to bring out to you is don't look at the symptoms, look at the actual disease and work on that. And when you solve that, it won't be a fight anymore because you don't have an issue. You don't want it. If you wanted it, then you'd go do it and be happy about it.
Right, I just don't understand why there isn't a parallel track over here. What I don't quite get in this picture and how you've been describing it is I think I'm understanding, or at least I'm trying to understand, the system of self-awareness, self-realization, what am I feeling, what am I thinking, what's my rotzen, and getting that, and it needs to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's a life's work. There's no shortcuts to real avoda. I get that. I think. At least I'm trying. Both in terms of understanding the sheer of my own work, personally. But it just seems to me that there's a parallel here, which I don't know how you would want to address it, or how you feel, if at all, it should get addressed. It's just that and for a lot of guys, they need to develop a sense of no. And I don't know how that fits into the system, whether a sense of no is a stira to this idea, because it seems to me you want to work on it on a parallel level. You want to be like developing that self-awareness, but at the same time, you want to be having a sense of like, no, this just isn't okay, and I have to put into place systems that's going to keep me far away from this, because I know how it damages me. I know how much it will knock out my brain. I know how much as I'll think I've got a handle on it, I'm like, whoop, there it goes again, which of course is a learning situation. But, let's say a kid, 13 years old, 14 years old, you can tell him, like, go have a great time. But he's going to go home after he's finished an exciting day, and from 8 until 1 in the morning, he's going to be busy. So I just don't quite understand like that. I guess
I'm not sure what you mean by a sense of no. You mean to say, we've already discussed that in the first year, that obviously this is the precursor to all this is his own decision-making powers, what he decides he wants or not. If he thinks he wants to watch porn, he will.
Okay, I don't want to take more time. Maybe I'll just be in touch with you. Maybe, whatever. I don't want to take the...
Okay, but we'll wrap it all up. Obviously, the first question is, what does a person want? Right? And they have to be able to identify what porn does to themselves, what porn teaches them, what porn forms them into, as we talked about the last Yeshivas, and they're going to make decisions if it's something they want or don't want. If a person doesn't choose, there's nothing to talk about. You can have all the systems in the world, they're going to do what they want. But my point is, even if they do choose, they also have to deal with the inward, the struggles, the desires, the needs that we all have that need to be developed, need to be fulfilled. And if we fulfill them, then your choice will be successful. If you don't fulfill them, a person who's starving will eat garbage because they have no choice. So we're about to wrap it up because it's 10:30. I just want to know if there's anybody else any other questions, and I also would like to just hear really quickly from each person, what are you feeling about what we just learned? Really quick. Go for it, Josh.
Can we go to the question first?
Yeah. What are you feeling about what we just learned?
Resonates. It resonates as true. It's like a punch to the gut, because these are things that I've been. This is very relevant to my experience of life these last 7 days. So I get it, and I hate that I get it.
Okay. Who wants to say something else?
Yeah. What is the approach to altering the belief system? It seems like, look, the core of all of this, simply put, you got to feel good about yourself before you can be in a relationship that's healthy.
Yes, you have to believe in your own value.
Correct. So if you don't have that sorted out, and the thing is, like, that's not a binary thing.
No.
Like, at least in my life, I wish it was binary, where it's like, cool, you know, level achieved. I now believe in myself always and fully. It's like, no, I can get there now in ways I couldn't get there 5 years ago. But like, then Tuesday happens and I get knocked off the horse.
Right.
And I have the flu for a week and I'm lying in bed like a sack and I can't do anything and it's really frustrating. That was my last week. And I no longer feel good about myself at all.
Mm-hmm. So now,
what do you do about that?
right. So what you're saying is there's a constant level of belief in yourself that is constantly shifting and growing, and there's more potential for you to actualize who you are because you even understand who you are better as the years go by. So you can have a deeper access of that. So what are the steps that we need to take to see our value, right? Has a lot to do with understanding what value is. And as an adult, you grow in your das of what makes something valuable. You start appreciating all kinds of stuff. And things that you wouldn't have said, wow, that's so important. Well, it is very important. How important it is that you got up in the morning and smiled at the guy next to you. Right? You can do all kinds of stuff in the world. What I'm saying to you is that it's not binary, it's a constant life struggle. And the simon of it is that when you start having crazy ideas about Pagam Habris, you can notice already, if that's what your struggle is, like, wait a minute, what am I thinking about my value right now? Oh, okay, let's deal with it today.
Much from following. Is the message you're saying at its core, I have to assess what it is that I'm consciously valuing or not valuing?
Mm-hmm. Why don't I see about myself value? What happened?
I stopped accomplishing.
That's the only value you had. The fact you maybe that's a very important lesson for you to realize that even if you're sitting in bed, you have value.
I think that's yeah, okay, I hear you. Because I don't believe that, actually.
Right, of course not. That's why you felt bad.
I for sure don't believe that.
Exactly. So there's 100 different circumstances in life where suddenly we have a new understanding of value based on the nisayon at hand that pushes us to say, oh, wow, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'm valuable here too. And the sign of it is if I start feeling bad about myself and I start looking for things to give me fake value, it's like, okay, I got to work on that right now. Let's go look at it.
Yeah, I think I for sure believe, and I still do, I'm not convinced otherwise, that, no, if I'm lying in bed, alone, doing nothing, talking to nobody, giving to nobody, what value do I have? I'm just lying there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now imagine you're in a relationship and you're sick for a week, right? Relationship's over? Because you don't believe you're wanted anymore?
I kid you not, I actually felt that, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a relationship now, and I was like waiting for the call, like, yo, listen, you know, it's not a thing anymore.
Right.
I'm seeing your true colors come out.
Exactly, see? Okay, anybody else? Running.
What's the answer?
That's your challenge. You tell us next week.
You try to tell me that you have value this whole week?
Anybody else want to share something?
Just that I need to watch this over.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
but it's all like kind of the like, let's put it this way. Last week's shiur really triggered me into wanting to watch porn. This week's shiur dampened that, but not completely. And there's so much to chew on that I want to chew on, so I have to listen to it again. And just now I know that there's just a process that I've got to grasp.
Anybody else want to share?
I'll show really quickly. With the terms of accomplishments, I can go on in life accomplishing a lot of things, but I don't look back and say, well, that was really good. Like, I just keep walking. So that's my small takeaway, give yourself credit, like, be good.
Yeah, I mean, I've also found that sometimes when I have accomplished things that even hey, they were giving to people and they took a lot out of me to do that I'd never done before or whatever. Like sometimes like that moment where like I would still feel like, oh well, this isn't doing it for me. So like even I guess it has to do with what my goal is, what I was accomplishing, maybe not being the right thing because it somehow still wasn't filling the void, and then realizing that after I did do it, and it still didn't fill the void, it made it even worse. To then like, okay, wow, like now I really don't know what the heck's gonna happen. I'm really not accomplishing because, or I'm really not getting out of this problem, and then the supposed accomplishment that I thought was going to be an accomplishment didn't help, and then that makes the feeling even worse of wow, now I really like it's just this is not going to like I'm never going to get there.
Amazing. So there's work to be done over there. Excellent. Anybody else? Quickly, because we're running out of time. Okay. Anyway, it was a pleasure to learn with you tonight. Next week we will continue on the same type of things. We're just going to bring up other topics that are, you'll see it's the same exact way of functioning, just different needs.
So nothing changes because of Hanukkah?
Nothing changes because of Hanukkah, correct. Is that a problem for anybody?
Okay, can I ask one last question real quickly?
Yeah.
What's one exercise that we can do this week to work on this? Meditate on this.
I would definitely say that the point of tefillah or meditation, whatever you use method, is to experience consistent love in your life. And to use tefillah like that, that's pretty powerful. And the place where you can spend time really seeing who you are is to actually spend time in the day going over, we always, there's a cheshbon nefesh, right? You ever know the cheshbon nefesh only about the bad things you did? No one ever did that, right? How about the things you accomplished? And how about noticing what value you have to the world? Actually paying attention to that and giving it space. Good exercise?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chaver, was a pleasure. Take care.
Hey Rav, sorry I missed today's class. Really work. Really unbelievable night of just essentially tefillah with some chayv over here. We had sort of this practice called the Yodi, it's Native American practice. And there's a Habris Shuir over here, man. with Native Americans, the rituals, the space holding for it,